everybody. This is May Dodalao here, and I am with Kenny Morikawa. Kenny Morikawa is a business owner and investor. Actually, I didn't put investor, but he's also an investor. He owns multiple businesses, actually. So he's going to tell us today about his experience in Finance Freedom Mastermind, so you can hear from someone who actually took part in it. But before we do that, Kenny, why don't you tell people about who you are, what your businesses are, what you do right now?
Okay. So right now, I have the past 3 years. I've had a cleaning business, and I do all things from residential to move out cleaning, as well as cleaning offices. And is it last year I started a new business, which was an Airbnb business, where I also did the property management, the booking, the all the amenities and things to run an Airbnb business. It was profitable at the time.
Yeah, we're still awaiting COVID to end, but you still have it. You're just in a different mode, right?
Yeah, we're just rolling with the times right now.
Great. And you're also an investor, right? You pay yourself passive income and you have passive income and you also have investments that grow, right? You have multiple investments.
Multiple investments. Yeah. Ever since I was younger, my dad started me off with a brokerage account, which we bought stocks that I was like interested in at that time. So like I used to play a lot of Sony PlayStation, so we got some Sony stock. There was some AT&T, was real big back then, and I don't know, sure wish we got other tech stocks, but PlayStation, Sony was what I remember having at that time. So from a young age, I've started buying stocks, and we got a few stocks that did pay dividends, and I didn't really look at it over the years, and they grew kind of on their own slowly, but could have been faster with a little more attention spent to it.
Nice. All right. So when you joined Finance Freedom Mastermind, that was in 2017, yeah? In February 2017. So it's been a
Yeah.
while. So why did you join? Like, what were you thinking when you joined? What was the main reasons?
One of the
Tell us
reasons
about your situation back then. You didn't own any businesses back then either, right?
I didn't own any businesses. I was working, regular like 9 to 5 job, which was okay. I felt like I wasn't getting paid. I was getting paid kind of minimum wage about, and I really just wanted to take control of my own finances. Like I've known that I've had the brokerage account for stock brokerage account for a long time, and I've never, you know, put any attention into it. So I was making like, I don't know, $36 a month. And I thought, wow, that's a lot. That's great. And I thought, that's all I could do. And I had other like money that I worked and saved, and I didn't know what to do with. So I had it in a savings account or sometimes in a checking account, not growing anything at the time. So I knew that I really wanted to be a part of your financial freedom mastermind to take control. And I know that from the short story that you shared, you were in a lot of debt at one time, and you've
Yes.
since gotten rid of it, or worked yourself out of it.
I
So I
did.
thought, okay, that does sound like a lot of money, and if May can do it, then yeah, let's grow, learn about money.
Because you had a little bit of debt you wanted, not a little at the
I
time,
did,
but
yeah.
debt that you wanted to get rid of.
I had a line of credit that I had taken, just to, I don't know, kind of in my own way of like trying to learn how to take care of money, but I didn't use it correctly, so it just became more debt, like a bigger extra credit card that I had.
Right. Yeah, I used to have 8 different credit, like I think it was 8. I kind of got this number in my head. I have a list of them, but it was almost 8 different credit cards and lines of credit totaled over $40,000 of debt back in 2011. It was really scary. And I didn't make that much at my bank job. I only made like 35,000 a year. And that's without taxes taken out. So I only made like, so it was very scary for me to have that much debt. And they were in like, some of them were lower interest, but some of them were not, So yeah. So I paid it all off by 2016. Yay! Quit my job. Yay! So yeah, I don't work a job, and you don't work a job anymore. So that's kind of cool. So why don't you share with people now? You talked about why you went in. What's your experience? Like, how is it in the mastermind? Do you enjoy it? Like,
Okay. Yeah. So since being a part of the mastermind, like actually taking time like weekly to learn and to focus and reevaluate and look at investments, I've learned we've done different things throughout the years, right? To focus on like um uh what is it? Uh passive income, focus on passive income. We've discussed and read together, different books, as well as Robert Kiyosaki, which is a very popular author, and talks about cash flow and passive income, active income. I never really thought about the differences of passive and active income, and since then, I've focused and really working on it has grown my passive income to now it's about $200 a month,
yeah,
and
money per
you
month,
know
passively.
passively, right, not doing anything. And in fact, actually, it works better not looking at it and worrying about it and stressing about it, which I also used to do. Used to actively look at the stock market, but um, yeah. So part of it is like learning the rules and following them, sticking to it.
Yeah, the mastermind meets once a week on Zoom meetings, so it's online, and not everyone is from Hawaii. We are both from Hawaii, but I've had people on from all over. So what do you think of that? So it's a 1 year program, you renew it every year if you like, and then you come on for like 40 minutes a week with a group of people who are all working toward the same goal. Everyone has their own issues. What do you think of that? Do you think it's helpful? Is it beneficial?
Yeah, it's super beneficial. Like it helps to keep me accountable to to my goals, because if not, I mean, then things just kind of tend to break down pretty easily. So having a scheduled meeting, a time to meet, and getting to know people from different parts of the USA, right? Kind of seeing uh, what their lives are and what their goals are, their financial goals, and watching them win, right, is
Yeah, I
really
know,
exciting.
right? It's amazing what happens in there.
So amazing to see people grow, right? To go from like just trying to pay rent to actually start saving and building up passive income. Like
Right.
really inspiring.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know some programs, and I used to go to financial programs that were like a weekend, all day long in a weekend or all day long for a week. And you're just cramming in a lot of information. You're very hyped. You do a lot of exercises, stuff. You have breakthroughs. I used to do that. And I created this mastermind differently because I felt like once you finish that week or that weekend, you were all hyped up and then everything just fell away and you just went back to what you were before. So I made this program to help people during their life, like for real, like while you're actually living your real life, create real change. Do you think it's accomplished that? Do you think it's beneficial, or what do you think? How do you think it compares to those hype me up weekends to like a full 1 year, once a week thing? What do you think?
I would say there's definitely something to be said about the long term programs, because the weekends they're really good, and the next step, of course, is applying it to your everyday life, which I too, I've also attended a bunch of those weekend seminar things, and it the the practice comes with when the rubber meets the road and you actually start applying the things that you've learned.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So I'm glad it helps you. I just wanted to make.
yeah, so that's why I believe, right, the long term and the mastermind really works.
One of the things we do in Mastermind is every month we calculate our numbers. And what that means is we actually track, because
Mm.
you can actually track your finances, right? So you can tell if you're winning or losing. You can actually find out. So you can go and be like, okay, my net worth is this, my passive income is this, my cash flow is this, and I have this much invested for my financial freedom, in my investment account for like freedom. So does that help you? What do you think of that?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Part of it is to actually sit down and do it, which I know sometimes is a trouble with how busy life can get. But it really is like a time to check in and be able to sit down and focus. If money or financial freedom is really what you want, then it's important enough to set time aside for it. As well as it's exciting to see the gradual growth over time, to look back over a year, month to month, and see like, oh, my passive income maybe went up like $5 this month, and then $5 this month, and at the end of the year it's like $60 more, higher than what it was in the beginning. After like 3 years, and it's just more. And to see the net worth, we also calculate net worth,
Yes.
which, to be honest, before this I've never thought about at all.
Your net worth.
My net worth. So meeting with some financial experts before that, they would first question would be, what's your net worth? What are all your assets? What are your liabilities? And I had like maybe a rough idea of what that was, but to actually sit down and work on it, to see, it's not the easiest thing or the most sometimes it's kind of painful to
I
watch, especially like, wow, I didn't know that I spent this much money on video games or on TV or, or all these things, or like I spent so much last month to buy a new TV. Wow. So
Yeah.
it's not, sometimes it's painful, but there's lessons to be learned in that, to always like reevaluate and steer the ship a little bit more closer towards your goal, in the direction
Cool.
of your.
All right. So, what do you think the biggest benefits are to you? Anything you want to share?
The biggest benefits for sure is like the group. Right, May's excellent in um, keeping the schedule, keeping it on time,
Yes,
and
I'm always on
to
time.
figuring out
Very organized.
how we can all be on at the same time, and to we're learning together. We're learning concepts as well as figuring out the applications of it. Um, Definitely the meeting and the consistency of things is what it takes to move towards financial freedom. That great goal that seems so far,
It
like,
doesn't seem as
out
far now,
there.
does it? It doesn't seem that
Now
far
it's
anymore, does it?
doesn't seem this far. And sometimes yeah, doing the numbers and figuring out your net worth reveals that you're not as far as you think you are, and that's pretty inspiring. Promising.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
When I first started doing my numbers, it was so painful. That was when I had the $40,000 of debt. That's scary to look at, especially when you don't make that much money and you're like, how am I going to get rid of this debt? But it does change. Your life changes. Like I look back, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to have a negative net worth. Negative. Now I'm like six-figure positive. It's like what day and night, Like I own two properties, I own businesses. Like it's just um so what do you think of having friends, like meeting people, growing with other people?
Definitely. Getting to know people throughout the year, and as I said, seeing their goals, seeing them move closer to their goals, as well as like break through their own obstacles. Like I um one of them is like, I don't know if I can pay my rent this month, or I just wanted to clear.
Yeah,
However,
yeah, clear her rent checks.
seeing it switch to to the next step, to be able to
Yeah.
be saving and moving to a bigger place and
Mm-hmm.
taking control of their life.
Finances. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
inspiring to work together as a group.
So, is there anything else you want to add about your experience?
It's been an amazing experience, and just being on here talking about the past 3 years, like it really brings into perspective like how much I've grown through your program, and it took 3 years. It sounds like a long time going forward, but looking back on it, it wasn't really that much time, and
Yeah, you went
so
from a job where you were paid very little, and you had to show up and do this. And now you have your own businesses. You don't have this set time schedule. You're more free in setting your own time schedule, right? I know you wanted to travel more, right, to Maui or to
right, right,
conventions and
and
big things and projects, and now you have more time to do your own projects.
also before, like I used to be really afraid of handling my money. Like I
Yeah,
thought that
remember
I
that.
would, I would, I was like the worst person. And it's safer in a savings account where it's earning like 0.0001%, and I just, I was so afraid of losing it that I wouldn't do anything with it. So, a lot of that is empowerment and confidence that comes from studying and learning about
Yes.
money.
Yeah, you guys, as I've noticed, as I've learned more in the mastermind, I've become more confident moving it around, finding better places for money too. Cool. Anything you want to add? We're almost done. Anything you want to say?
No, thank you so much for doing this, and yeah, I don't know if you're gonna have a link, but it is
I
well
will
worth it.
put a
Like
link under here.
you
Yes.
invest in your money. Like it's so amazing.
All right. So I'll put a link to the mastermind program underneath if anyone's interested in joining the mastermind program. The link will be under there. You can check it out. But thank you for
Found it somewhere.
talking about it for everyone so they can kind of see. I know some people, they look at it and they're like, what is it? And it's actually simpler than you would think. It's just meeting once a week with a set goal of creating financial freedom and, doing certain tasks that create financial freedom on a regular basis, like charting your net worth, your passive income, your things like that, and growing and learning more skills. So people kind of get scared and they think it's something complicated, but it's not.
And
It's simple, but then it's effective.
very, so effective.
Thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it. If you guys are interested in getting a cleaning,
Oh yeah, if you're interested in
if you're in
cleaning here
Hawaii,
on the island of Oahu and or perhaps Maui, you can give me a call. I don't. Well,
we'll put your
I'll
information
put my
underneath.
information down. Yeah.
Smart Clean LLC, right? You can talk to Kenny and he can come clean for you. He has the state of art equipment and he's all ready to go.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on. Aloha.
All right. Thank you.